So when you're doing this, how much do you do with mental health in these kids?
It's up to the individual counselor. Personally, I do a lot because I think it's important, right? As a counselor, we have counselors throughout the nation that are on opposite sides of the spectrum. Some think it's important, some don't. I think it's all intertwined together. If you have better mental health, you're probably going to be a better student. You're going to figure out who you are faster. Just factual.
So what are the main things that you're dealing with? Is it a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety? Has it changed since COVID?
Absolutely. It's absolutely changed since COVID. I think depression and anxiety, and I'm going to put in air quotes ADHD, are the three that I deal with the most. And I put ADHD in air quotes because there's a lot of self-diagnosis for ADHD from parents or from students saying, oh, I have this, which I bet you do. After all the time we spend on, computers and iPads and phones and stuff, I'm sure you do. But that one can't be the reason why you're not finding success.
Right.
Like, if that's going on, you're dealing with that, and we need to find ways to deal with that, but that ain't going to go away, right? Anxiety and depression, we can kind of combat a little bit. I mean, I guess all three of them you can, but, there's just a lot of bullshit around ADHD.
Well, it seems to be kind of a cop-out.
Yeah.
From working hard.
Yeah.
I can't focus on this, and then dismiss it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like maybe sometimes a cop-out, but also maybe sometimes just you need to point that person in a different direction. Like the way that we're going to see someone without ADHD succeed is going to look different for someone that does have ADHD, especially severe ADHD. Just to kind of hedge against,
Well,
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's always a cop-out.
There's a style in how you use it, because as someone, I am right there with you.
Okay.
I struggle with this very immensely. Okay.
ADHD.
Yes. I've got all studied to the point though, in college, in high school and whatnot, I didn't get diagnosed until after college. It was actually in pro ball that I was like, oh, and
This makes sense.
How about that? But I had come up with all these different mechanisms and systems. I couldn't just sit down and write a paper. All right, it was absolutely impossible for me to just sit down, start at the top, write a paper. I'd write over here, 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 and I had this system of how I'd have to organize it in my head to make it and then churn it all out. A paper that would take, 2-page paper would take somebody 2 hours, to pump out. Would probably take me closer to 4 or 5. It got done every time because I was dedicated in doing it, but it was actually a struggle to do it. I'm not discrediting it as it's an actual thing.
So I see what you're saying. It's not that there are people who legitimately have it who are then using it as an excuse, but it's more it's just so predominant or so prevalent now in our society that everyone can throw it out there. Oh, I've got ADHD.
Well, but then it's like the example I just gave you. I had that, never diagnosed because I didn't believe that I could possibly have anything like that wrong. I got straight A's through everything. I did it all, and I worked through it. But you switch back, and then I got on some medication and went back and wrote a paper after pro ball. I went back to school and was done, paper done. Oh, this is not a big deal at all.
Well, I think for me the thing that's most important with what you said was when you were talking about the time frame of getting it done. Somebody takes 2 hours, took me longer, but it still got done.
It still got done.
I think that's where I think maybe I was not as clear as far as the bullshit factor is the ADHD is being used as an example or a reason as to why I don't need to do this thing, right?
Right.
As far as what do I spend a lot of my time doing? When I do meet with parents, a big portion of it is them coming in saying, this is wrong with my child. We need to find out how you can help them. Whereas the reality is they're going to be dealing with if it's real, and sometimes it's not, but if it is real, they're going to deal with this forever, right?
Right.
Your ADHD didn't go away.
No.
You found out how to deal with it, whether it be medication or hobbies or happiness or whatever. You found a way to deal with it. Why is the request not help us figure out how we're going to deal with this, not how can we make it so my student has to do less?
Right.
It's for you, it's like showing up at the mechanic with a broken car. It's please fix it.
Fucking fix
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Right?
It's fucking ridiculous. This is your kid.
How much is it going to cost me? You know, like, how much do I really need to switch out the rotors, right? Like, it doesn't work that way.
No, that's a good point. The other thing I think that factors into this, it's stuff that we did, it just doesn't seem that long ago, but go outside and run around for a little bit and see how much that helps.
Yeah.
You know, and that seems to be something, I know that there was a trend, I don't know if it's still going on, but PE was getting cut all over the place. Is that still?
Not here. I mean, there's state regulations, but we're trying to find loopholes, and by we, I mean parents and students, right? So I think, yes, in certain ways, it's trying to get cut.
And I think, but that's also one of the ways that I have to combat my ADHD. You know, you have to stay active, you have to stay moving, and if you get a little physical exercise, get the blood moving, it does help your brain work a lot better.
Yeah. No, I agree, absolutely. I mean, I compared to the human body, right? How many organs do we have? Rhetorical question of time, right? And you need to make sure that
I was like, oh, shit.
I was like, oh, Alex, hurry up.
But they all work together, right? So that the whole organism can function, right? That's how we're supposed to function as a human being out in the world, right? In order to learn and evolve and grow, you know, you have to physically move your body. You got to keep receiving information. You need to go to work. You need to sleep. If we look at all the things that we do as different organs making the organism function, we function better, right? Like
that makes perfect sense.
I mean, the correlation between obesity and depression is it's not a mistake, right? Like if you're obese, you're more susceptible to being depressed. Not always, but I mean, that's because something's not functioning correctly physically. So again, another physical problem would be the depression tying in, right? So to tie in with your PE stuff.
Well, it's everything. You know, how you eat. We did a couple episodes ago, we had a guy on, we talked about the carnivore diet and how that all changes in the brain function and everything, and it's real. You know, our charity got started because even for as good of a city as Salt Lake is, 20% of kids won't have a meal if the school doesn't give it to them.
Fact.
You know, and that which is mind-boggling for Salt Lake City, which seems, and I've been all over the country, Salt Lake pretty much has it going on all fronts. It's a very good city.
Yeah.
And we're still at 20%, and we're one of the better ones.
Yeah.
You know, but all of those factors play into your ADHD, what we're putting into our body, how we're treating it, all of it. And I feel like, and then you look at like sports participation is down. It's kind of like all of these things did matter. Like you said, it's the mix and all the organs working together that make the body function.
Yeah.
If you'd like that clip and would like to watch another one, click right here. If you'd like to watch the whole video, click right here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.